Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a cute little drawing. I started off with these bears, but I'm going to be finalizing this little glass jar with a bear in it, and I'm so excited. But I really enjoyed how this drawing's turned out. But I just hope you join me, and I hope we have a fun time just having fun doing art together. Let's get started. Now I started this drawing by making a background, and I want to choose a complementary color to what I was going to end up painting, which in this case was purple, because I was going to be drawing lots of oranges and yellows as I created this honey. I didn't end up keeping the purple in the background later, but I did think it helped me kind of look at my colors just without that white background. I feel like sometimes just having a white background behind you really makes it difficult to see what the colors actually look like. As I painted the honey, what I really tried to focus on, and especially with like the jar, is the fact that honey isn't just one color. And at first I thought maybe I could make this jar just one color, but I found that was kind of boring. So I ended up later on getting a reference and just trying to find the different hues that honey has in it, which turns out there's a lot, and it's really fun to add them in with this dry brush I'm using. I believe it's called a dry brush. And I just had a lot of fun adding in all these colors. So once I found a reference, I tried to really stop limiting myself to just colors that I think honey would have in it and actually look at the reference. I feel like often I struggle with this growing up, is I would think that something has to be one color because I imagine it that color, but then when you see a reference and you see all these different hues and shades and random colors you don't expect, I would stop myself from using those. But I'm learning more and more is that those different random reds, random blues that you see from day to day, actually that's what makes things look real and interesting. So as I am coloring this jar here, I am learning to use these reds, these oranges that I wouldn't generally think would be in a jar of honey, but as you can see, it ends up making it look a whole lot better. You know, growing up, I used to tell my mom all the time, that you can't use a reference, that's cheating. Like, if you use a reference, it's not from your imagination, because I thought you can't be a real artist unless you use your imagination. If you look at a real picture, well, then you're not a real artist. Thankfully, I have grown up, and using a reference is so helpful. Obviously, tracing is a whole different can of worms you could open, but using a reference to see colors, to see shapes, to see dynamics, that actually helps you grow as an artist and opens your eyes to what makes it up, what colors make up whatever you're drawing, what shapes make up whatever you're drawing. You don't see that without looking at a reference photo. I don't know about you, but adding highlights has got to be like the most satisfying part of painting anything. And painting honey, there's not really much like rhyme or reason to a lot of where I'm putting these colors other than like shadows, and I'm sure I could do a better job if I took some real time to study it. But it's like as soon as you add those highlights, it just takes shape. Which was before a lump of brown and yellows suddenly becomes like, oh, that's a drip of honey. But as you can see here, when I'm making these drips, it's just a lot of putting colors down and seeing if it looks good. I have my reference, I know more or less the colors I need and kind of how light is going into this honey and refracting the light and colors, but in the end, it's a lot of just trial and error. And when they say trust the process for art, it is not a joke. You just keep going. If you stop after the first couple tries, it will not look right. Keep going, keep at it, keep chipping away. Every art piece is just a giant sculpture. That's how I imagine it. Like, no sculpture looks good in the beginning because the hunk of rock. You gotta keep going, and if you give up halfway, you're just gonna have a weird looking hunk of rock. So just keep trying and keep adding things, and there's times when you need to start over. But most of the time, I at least for me, I give up too soon. If I just keep going on the projects that I do finish, it's the projects that I had to get past that ugly stage to get to the cute stage. And once again, look at those highlights. It just adds a whole nother dimension. They look so much better. Everything looks better with highlights, guys. I promise. Now, as I started working on the bear, I'd like to first of all say ignore the little piece of my camera stand poking up in that top left corner. Whoopsie. But as I was figuring out how to shade this bear, it was a bit of a struggle because I want this bear to be cute. I want him to be kind of cartoonish, but I also want him to match the aesthetic of this honey. The honey is not realistic, but it's got some realism to it. It's got some serious shading, some serious highlights, some serious dimension, and so the bear can't be flat here. And I've been doing a lot of flat colors lately, so it was fun moving this stuff around and moving colors around to make this bear both still cute and cartoony, but also have that dimension that matched the honey that he was, sitting in. I will mention I did almost this entire painting on one layer just because I wanted to feel a little bit more natural. But it did mean here when I made a mistake on the mouth, I couldn't just erase it because I'd erased the entire bear. So that did mean I did have to work over things, cover things up, color match my mistakes, so to speak, because I did choose to do that, and I enjoy that. Sometimes I enjoy making things harder for myself just because I find the process is more fun. It feels more like I'm actually painting. But with that, we're almost done, just adding some final touches. Well, that's the finished project, my little honey bear. He's so cute. I did end up changing the background to a bit of more of a neutrally yellow shade, but I think it is such a calming, cute, sweet little illustration. I hope you enjoyed watching me, and have a blessed day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.